Good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is The Hype, episode 55, and welcome to another film review. And today's review is a pretty damn special one. Iron Man 3 just got released over here in the UK, and I saw it on opening day. And obviously, it's not opening day anymore, but you know, it took a little while for me to get this review done, so apologies. But here it is. I saw the film the other day, and I think you can tell by the grin on my face, thought the film was friggin' awesome. And I'm going to tell you why in this review, so hang tight. So, the story of this film, for those who are not aware, goes a little something like this. Iron Man 3 takes place after the Avengers and focuses on the life of Tony Stark, aka Iron Man. It seems that he hasn't gone about and fully recovered after the events of New York, and those events have left him in a state of anxiousness, loneliness, and it is starting to affect his sleeping pattern as he seems to have nightmares about the whole alien and bomb thing from the Avengers. So now it's affecting his relationship with Pepper Potts, and it causes him to stay awake to ridiculous hours and makes constant amounts of Iron Man suits to keep himself safe. However, things start to get even worse for Stark when the terrorist leader known as the Mandarin shows up, starts causing all sorts of havoc on TV, and literally shatters Tony's life to pieces. And it is at this point that Tony Stark has to find the courage to carry on, literally rebuild himself, save the world, and discover the mysteries around him. And that is the plot synopsis of the film without going into the area of spoilers. Now we're going to tell you what was good about the movie and what was bad. Now let's start with the good. Firstly, let's talk about the story. I thought the story in this film was very well done. It was very dramatic, smart, really funny, and a lot of unexpected stuff goes down in this film. There was a lot of things I just didn't see coming, and the trailers did a very good job of hiding what actually goes down in the film. I thought that this film was incredibly funny, and for those worrying that the film was too dark and too serious, don't worry, there is plenty of laugh out loud moments and a lot of funny scenes in the movie, and it should be expected from a man like Shane Black. You can tell that this is his film all over the place because it has this style, it has this sense of wit and humour in the comedy, and it is just it just feels very reminiscent of Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and some good stuff. But it really is the characters of the film that bring Iron Man 3 to life. So let's start with the man of the hour, Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. I thought he was brilliant as always, as the charismatic character that we've come to love from the previous two films in the series. This time around we get to see a bit more of a vulnerable side to him. He happens to be a little bit more edgy, a little bit more dramatic, and a little bit more emotional. Seeing Tony Stark in such a crazy, anxious, and post-traumatic stressy sort of way, it's just really surprising, but it was really good. It worked for the film, and Robert Downey Jr. is still as great as ever. Even in these moments of anxiety and craziness, he still has moments to have witty dialogue with some of the characters that he interacts with, especially this one kid that he befriends over the course of the movie. It was good, he was great, I still love him, he's just the best. Robert Downey Jr. is the best, simple as. And Gwyneth Paltrow is really good in the film as Pepper Potts. She has a lot more to do in this film than she did in the previous two Iron Man films, and I love the way that her relationship with Tony has expanded from the previous two films. And yeah, she was just really cool. I just like what they did with her character. It was really cool. As for Don Cheadle as Colonel James Rhodes, aka Rhodey, aka War Machine, aka Iron Patriot. In this film, I like what they did with the Iron Patriot. It took a little while to get used to the color scheme, but after they worked on the character, it was pretty cool. Don Cheadle, I wasn't too keen on his performance as Rhodey in the previous Iron Man film. I just didn't feel like there was that connection between him and Tony. But now in this film, he has a lot better material to work with. Cheadle has stepped into the role, he's come into it, and he feels like Rhodey now. Him and Tony have a great rapport, they have a good relationship, and this is what I was looking for in Iron Man 2. Now let's talk about Guy Pearce as Aldrich Killian, who was the founder of AIM and the creator of the Extremis virus. I thought he was pretty cool. I love the way his character was introduced, and then we get to see why he becomes the person that he is. He's a bit of a shady character, and the way his story unfolds in the film was really good. Also, Rebecca Hall as Maya Hansen was pretty cool in the film as well. I liked again the sort of backstory that she got given and the way in which it played into the rest of the film. And now we have to talk about the big bad Mandarin played by Sir Ben Kingsley. This was a very, very interesting take on the character, and to be honest, there was a lot of stuff about his character I just didn't even see coming, so I was just like, yo, Sir Ben Kingsley, he is a master of acting, and he definitely puts, like, you know, was it a lot of interesting things into this role, so I was just like, different, but good. And lastly, but by no means least, there's Jon Favreau as Happy Hogan. He happens to have a little bit more dramatic material to work with this time round, and I was glad to see his character return. He's still funny, he's still good, and I love the way he was in the role. It was still cool. And the last good thing about this film is the presentation. Visually, this film is incredible. I mean, I was worried for a while when Industrial Light and Magic was said to not come back to go about and do the visual effects, but you have a variety of different people working on the film this time, and they brought Iron Man and all of his action set pieces to life in a brilliant fashion. There is a lot of smart, well choreographed, well shot, and well special effectsy stuff going down in this film. There's some great stuff from Tony going about and taking out some guys with just a hand gauntlet and his boots to go about and seeing the Iron Legion at the end of the movie just blowing all this stuff up. It's insane. It is great. It is some good looking CGI. It's clean and the action is just well done. A lot of it's like, you know, there's even stuff that's done outside of the suit which was not expected, but it was some smart, well directed, well choreographed stuff, and I loved it. And as for the soundtrack by Brian Taylor, that was awesome. Never has an Iron Man score in the series sounded so profound, so big, so loud, so boom! I mean, not since the first Iron Man film has there been such, like, you know, classy styled music, but this music is really good. It has a sort of, I don't know, 1970s twang to it, but it is great, it's loud, it's proud, it's kick-ass, yo. Now let's talk about the bad. The only bad elements I could find with the film is that there are certain things that take place within the story and with some of the characters that get changed and altered pretty big from, like, you know, its original comic book origins, from the Action Masama to some of the characters, specifically like the Mandarin. And some of these changes, some people will be able to accept, while some comic book fanboys will just probably not have it at all. It depends on what kind of fan you are and whether you're willing to forgive or whether you're just willing to hate. But suffice to say, yeah, there are a few disappointing elements of this film that hold it down from being, like, you know, as great as the Avengers. So in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, for me, Iron Man 3 was a return to form. I was hoping for something a lot better than Iron Man 2, and it was just a hell of a lot better than that film. Forget that film. Iron Man 3 is where it's at. I could possibly say that it's probably the best film in the series, although it's still debatable whether I like number 1 more than I like number 3, but I think number 3 just edges it out a little bit. Not as good as the Avengers, but possibly the second best film that Marvel Studios has produced so far. As for a rating, I'd say it's between an 8.5 and 9 out of 10, but I think I'm edging towards 9 just because I really like Iron Man. I'm definitely going to have to see it again. And by the way, seeing it in IMAX was great. The 3D, you sort of forget it's there for a while, but, like, you know, the screen quality was great. So, like, if you do get the chance to see it in IMAX, see it in IMAX. It's beautiful. So that is my thoughts on Iron Man 3. What do you think of the movie for all you UK audiences there? And for the Americans that eventually do get it, tell me what you thought of the movie. Drop me a comment in the comment section below. Do be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and join the revolution that is in the Hypersonic 55, and check out the Facebook page when you have time. So yeah, that is it. And yes, I guess I will see you later. So from the Hypersonic 55, this is me signing out, yo. Iron Man, yes!